to another episode of Indeed. It's the Independent Wrestling Podcast. I'm Mike Hamley, here as always with my amazing co-host, the wonderful Righteous Reg. How are you doing, dude?
I'm great, man. It's me, Righteous Reg, your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster. Just came back from wrestling week. So there's a lot to talk about, Mike. They've been talking about the basis of our show all fucking weekend about how we shouldn't have this show because what we talk about is dead. Doesn't exist in this planet anymore. All those shows we watched, those people that were there, they weren't real. AI generated fans all throughout wrestling. It's crazy. I can't believe they can do that.
Yep, that is what we will be talking about today. Allegedly, indie wrestling is dead.
Allegedly.
So, if that's the case, ...2023 has been a brutal year. We lost independent wrestling. Apparently, it died last week.
Got me good, man.
Yeah.
19 double question mark. So now.
Full disclosure, Reg has no idea what that was gonna be. I just told him I made a video.
Damn,
So,
that was good.
I
didn't know what to expect, but that was really good. Independent wrestling is dead. Sad black and white video. Oh man.
Yeah.
Amazing. Good shit.
Yeah, it's just gonna be empty crowds from here.
I wonder what's gonna happen to all these wrestlers, dude. All these independent wrestlers they just don't have a job. That's it. It's crazy.
Yeah, I guess so. Like, they're not gonna wrestle anymore. There's not gonna be any shows. Like, it's definitely not, at least like just 7 shows that I have in a list here that people should probably watch this week or anything.
Most definitely. Or like gonna be 10 shows this weekend, probably. Like, I don't know, just whatever.
Yeah, no, we're never gonna see independent wrestling ever again, man. It's just all gonna be fly-ins and like dudes who wrestle on TV.
Exactly. I guess we should give a little bit of context to what we're talking about here. Of course, it was WrestleMania weekend. And you know what? Before this weekend, Mike, I kind of had some reservations because I've been to, I think this is my 11th WrestleMania weekend, as insane as that sounds. So I've seen the first WrestleMania weekend. I watched Ring of Honor and Dragon Gate USA in 2009. It was awesome. I discovered a whole bunch of new wrestlers. Dragon Gate USA, like at least 5 guys that were on the come up that are now like awesome. I think it was no, maybe the next year in Atlanta. Yeah, that was 2010 or 2011. One of those. I discovered AR Fox that weekend. Like the first time I ever saw AR Fox was at WrestleMania weekend in Atlanta. He did a Dragon Gate USA show. He was AR Fox, and I was like, holy shit, who's this guy? This is amazing. It's the craziest shit I've ever seen. So this weekend is, for me, for a couple years now, it hasn't even been about WrestleMania. It's been about going and watching independent wrestling. That's what this weekend's about. It's about going and watching independent wrestling and seeing a bunch of friends. Like, that's what it was about. A couple years ago at the Collective in Tampa, it was outside. That For the Culture show, that show was like probably the best show still I've ever been to, just like as far as vibe, as far as the show, as far as everything happening. So yeah, this weekend is about that for me. Going into this current weekend, I didn't feel the vibes that I felt for any of those years. Like this year felt completely different about how it used to be. WrestleMania weekend now is indie wrestling. It's WrestleMania weekend for them too. It's not about discovery, really. It's not about like, you're not gonna go to, we didn't come into this weekend and be like, oh, I never heard of this guy before, but he really took off. It's not about that anymore. This weekend is now about the WrestleMania of independent wrestling. So you're gonna see,
Showcases.
yeah, it's a showcase. You're gonna see Speedball, you're gonna see
Mhm.
Vikingo, you're gonna see all the guys that have been doing incredible things all year. They get to have their big WrestleMania moment. It's now become that. So, like the biggest shows, the shows are all filled with superstars and fly-ins and the best luchadors you've ever seen and the best wrestlers. Some of them, like you said, are on TV. Mike Bailey's on TV. Some wrestlers are doing these things.
Yeah.
So it's changed into that, and uh like genre specific shows, I want to say, like For the
Mhm.
Culture or Effie's Big Gay Brunch or The World on Lucha with Gringo Loco, like, a specific type of show. And even in those shows, it's still going to be like the hottest people from the year getting to have the big showcase.
Mhm.
I didn't see a lot of like local stuff. There was local stuff going on, but you have to like really find it. It's not like a part of what the weekend is. So I did feel that, and it this weekend was totally different. I'd average, I say, on my last two WrestleMania weekends, 10 independent wrestling shows, and I think I might have went to 4 maximum this year. It's just like a totally different vibe. Everything's different. Nothing felt like can't miss. There was some must see stuff, but none of it felt like I can't, like, if I don't go to the show, I'll be devastated. And there was some heat in there, and that's not to take away from any wrestler or any show that happened, but it just felt different. And Mike, there's a lot of factors that go into this. I mean, we do a show where we talk about 5 great shows every week. Then that's like a quarter, a piece of what happens every
Mhm.
single week. There's independent wrestling. There's great shows happening every single day, Monday through Sunday. You could probably watch some cool show, some match, some something. There's an over saturation of independent wrestling, and that's even kind of fucked up to say. I hate that it's came to like there's too many independent wrestling shows. No, there isn't, because like wrestlers are needed everywhere. Everywhere needs to be filled. Spots needs to be filled. Like I said, Monday through Sunday, there's something going on. There's always wrestling going on. So there's never too much. Maybe too much presented to you, but then even that, the people that are saying that don't consume wrestling like we do. They don't watch 10 independent wrestling shows on top of watching everything that happens on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays on the big shows. You know what I mean? So it's not even consumed the same. So I do understand that there is a lot going on. So that's going to even change the perception of WrestleMania weekend, because it's not in super shows don't exist anymore. If I can watch one, I'm going to West Coast Pro on Friday. It's a fucking super show.
Home of the Killers on Friday looks
You know what I
insane.
mean? It's sold out. It's a
Yeah.
stacked card. I'm doing that on Friday. That's not WrestleMania weekend. That's just another West Coast Pro show. And then the one next month is going to be even crazier. You know what I mean? Like there
Mhm.
isn't like this space to be like, man, I really just have this nerve and need for these supercars when I'm just going to cross the bridge for 20 minutes and watch it. It's not, I don't have to fly across the country anymore. I just got to go outside to watch my friends wrestle. So it's like, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going into this. And it's a problem. I'll definitely say it's a problem. Like I don't know if I love the current format of what's going on. I don't know if I like that WrestleMania weekend is now indie WrestleMania weekend, where like the best of the best are going to be there. I mean, from a fan's perspective, you get to watch great Japanese wrestlers, get great luchadors, great American indie wrestlers. So you get that. The shows were packed this weekend. The collective was sold out for like most of the shows. Like people were there to see it, but it's just different. And I don't know if that's bad. I don't know if that's gonna, but it's not though, because I think that's where we lead to next. We watch Wrestling Open. We watched, like I said, West Coast Pro. We watch all these promotions that are doing sold out shows, that are doing hot business
Mhm.
every single week. So how could, I think people have that's where it all got muddied up. People are equating WrestleMania weekend to the entire year of the Indies, and that's just not fair to say, right?
No, there's so many people that are routinely topping cards all over the country on independent shows that didn't even like hardly saw matches last week.
Exactly. Some of them didn't even have matches.
Yeah. Like top 3 show for me out of last week. One of them is Jimmy Lloyd's Degeneration F,
Mm-hmm.
because the entire breakdown of the card, looking at who's on it, they had their farthest flying was a tag team from England,
Mm-hmm.
close personal friends, and then the rest of it is actually like people that you see that are generally like, you know, closer to the top of the card regionally,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes like nationally if they're leaving their home area, but other than that, that was the bulk of the card.
Right.
And so that for me was like, this is the show where like some chance of discovery for somebody will be there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I appreciated seeing that one. I want to just acknowledge a super chat right now. Reggie
Mm-hmm.
Simmons just showing love. Thank you for the
Hey,
thank
thanks.
you
I
for the
appreciate
super
that.
chat, Reggie.
That's
That
cool.
might be our first one ever. So appreciate you.
Shout out to Reggie. That's dope.
Yeah.
Always supporting. Appreciate you,
Made
Reg.
made some history here.
Mm-hmm.
But and you spent at least a decent amount of time, I think, or sometime at least one day at Knucklehead, right?
I did. Yeah, there was a an event with like the Black Wrestling Podcast conglomerate. A bunch of us met, but it was at the same place that Circle Six was
Mhm.
having their shows, and their shows are the spirit of independent wrestling. Their shows were the exact opposite of what the collective was. It was like you're seeing wrestlers. I discovered wrestlers. There you go. That's like
Yeah,
exactly everything I said earlier in this show. It happened at the Circle Six show. They had some wrestlers from Canada. They had some wrestlers that
it did. Yes.
just like um are making some noise regionally over here too. And they did a bunch of different shows. They had like maybe 10 shows, and a lot of them were like back.
Mhm.
A lot of them were for like just for an hour, and it's back to back. So like Thursday they'd had a show at 12, and then at 1, and then at 2, and then at 3, and they're just all back to back, and they're all different concepts. There's bar shows. I was at the Zachary Wentz show for probably the entire show, with the main event of Zachary Wentz and Titus Alexander. That went very hard, super dope. But yeah, the spirit of what Circle Six was doing, they had a Suzuki karaoke show. Like everything that they were doing is exactly how this weekend should be, I think, for the entire thing. But even they didn't even get a lot of love because that's how people are. Most of the time that people were talking about Circle Six, they were just like trying to clown on. I'm like, well, this isn't how
Yeah.
we move forward. This isn't how we make independent wrestling better, by just trying to clown on this promotion that's doing a lot of great things, that's putting a lot of people on. Shout out to my homie Vinny, shout out to JB, shout out to all the homies at Circle Six that put a bunch of wrestlers on that weren't going to have the opportunity. Some of them flew out and they just had one match over here, and they got another opportunity to have a match over there just because of the
Yeah.
things that Circle Six did. So shout out to Circle Six. They did a lot of dope stuff. Please check them out. Check out all the shows that they did this weekend. They did a lot of fun shit. Check out the clips from the karaoke show, because Jody doing super bass in front of Minoru Suzuki is just like, what is going on here? It's pro wrestling at its best. Shout out to all the friends there. Yeah. So what they did there is exactly what independent wrestling is about all the time. So
Yeah.
again, shout out to them.
I think honestly, a lot of the flack that they caught, because it was funny, because from the start of the weekend to the end of like the 3 days,
Mm-hmm.
the stuff that was getting posted from their shows went from being like clowning on them in the early portion of the first day to like,
Mm-hmm.
holy shit, look at this spot. Holy
Yeah.
shit, look at this spot. Holy
Yep.
shit, look at this spot. Holy shit,
Yep.
look at this spot.
Mm-hmm.
And lo and behold, part of it, I like, so they started out with some technical issues, which you're running in a,
Everyone does.
yeah, it happens. It's indie wrestling. Technically, you're not going to hear some audio, or some audio is going to be fucked up. It's like something we have to live with and just deal with.
I don't even understand why we complain about
No.
it. Every time it happens, it's like, dude, this happens all the time, you guys. Why are we so mad? They're going to fix it. They don't want this to be the thing. That's what always gets me like, you guys are really fucking this up. You think they want to have audio issues? No one wants that.
And then their attendance was getting kind of like clowned on too. And then they were outdoors and it rained.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Can't at that point, like, what are you gonna do? Okay, so these terrible fans not standing around outdoors, just getting
how dare them not get rained on.
Yeah. Wait, you didn't bring your hotel shampoo to the fucking show with you? Come on now. Another super chat to get to real quick. Van Twinblade says, "Sup, Marks? 2 out of 3 falls match. 2D versus Heather Reckless on April 30th. Also, Shazza versus Laney Lux street fight. This has been your Glory Pro update. And you know what, Van Twinblade? We need to get some Glory Pro discussion going in here
Straight
just
up.
for you.
Yes, we do.
Well, for everybody that likes Glory Pro, and then hopefully some more people will check it out.
But specifically Van Twinblade,
specifically
because
for
he
you.
goes harder for Glory Pro than any wrestling fan goes for any promotion ever. And we got to keep talking about Tootie because she's a paralegal. She could be gone soon, man. Like she got a lot going on. Shout out to Tootie Lynn. She's having a good time out there. We're loving what's going on with her.
I'm gonna throw this one up real quick too. Shout out to Mike for the Twitter follow, and shout out to Reg for being the go to this shit.
Oh, I'm trying. Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah.
Y'all Canada guys, y'all are something else, I tell you.
we do all right sometimes. Yeah, Circle 6 took over Knucklehead, like which it was cool. They just ran shows basically nonstop throughout 2.5 days, essentially.
Yep.
And that's pretty unique in itself because it's not. It seemed like it was more of like a social environment as much as it was a wrestling show.
Totally.
Which is kind of different than, these big, like, say collective shows or the shows that were happening at the Globe where it's like show block. This was just kind of like almost like a indie wrestling commune that was just continually partying for
that's a great way to describe
days.
it. And I think that's exactly the vibe that not just for WrestleMania weekend. I think that's the vibe that Circle 6 wants to put off all year, is that like it's a party, man. Like people are filtering in through here, having drinks, there's food, they're having a good time. There's different shows come on. You might see a death match, you might see some flips, you might see somebody singing. Like they're really mixing it up. Not one show was like the other. And I think it was a really fun, and like being there was a really fun environment. And everybody that was there to have a good time. It's kind of like when I go to Hood Slam and the Hood Slam show, that's like there's wrestling fans, and then there's also people that are just like, hey, what's going on in here? This is fun. And then they have a good time while they're there.
Yeah, it looked like a really good time. And that was all streaming, another thing too, for free on YouTube.
Oh, see, that's even better. I didn't even know that they were streaming. I was trying to figure out what was going on with their streaming, but free on YouTube is dope.
Yeah, you could just pop the Circle 6 YouTube page open, and it was just, a continuous run of the shows throughout the day. It's a good time.
See, that's dope.
And again, it's like more stuff that's taking to this alternative route to even the Fight Plus or IWTVs.
Right.
And they do have their own, like, regular, TV sort of show, like SVN for Circle 6, which kind of goes in line with, we've got, Wrestling Open, Uncharted Territory, which I want to get some news on when that's coming back, because
did you see Drew he played a big part in this wrestling is indie wrestling is dying. He put out some tweets where he had a couple of controversial quote unquote takes on how wrestling should be handled. But I think even like people they've had a vendetta against him for a while, because like even when he announced the Wrestling Open thing, people were like, this is weird, blah blah blah. But it turned out to be like a really great idea that launched a bunch of talented wrestlers out there. So it's hard to know where to land on this, because everyone's making noise. I'm like, why are we even talking about this, dude? We're like, independent wrestling is hot, dude. That's hot over here in the West Coast. It's hot in Canada. It's hot in the Northeast. It's hot everywhere. Like, why this? I think the issue is they're not, and I don't want to say there's not any stars, because that's disrespectful to all the people, but there's not like any like super polarizing figures. And that's a good thing, because all these people are just great wrestlers. And there are also some polarizing figures out there, but people aren't checking for them. It's on you. You check for them. You could find them.
Yeah, cough. Charles Mason, cough.
I'm saying Darius Carter. Come on. What are you talking about?
Absolutely. Did you manage to get out to any of the collective shows? Like, what collective shows did you happen to make it out to?
Speaking of Darius Carter, I went out to, of course, every year I have to make it out to For the Culture. after Wale Mania. We had a good time at Wale Mania. Phil and I went down to the Ukrainian Cultural Center and we checked out the For the Culture show late at night. It started at midnight. It's
Mhm.
hard for people talk about crowds, but like regardless of anything, getting to a show at midnight, it's just going to be hard to get the energy that you really want because people are tired. A lot of people have watched 4 shows already in a row at the Collective, so you have to know how to navigate that. But again, for the 3rd year in a row, super fun show. The vibe was amazing. Getting to watch Brian Keith and Too Cold Scorpio wrestle each other
It was
right there
amazing.
with my eyes was, oh man, just as great as I thought it would be. Brian Keith, of course, is one of the best wrestlers in the world. I think he only had 2 bookings, so that shows you right there, like how crazy it is that
His
Brian Keith only had two bookings.
his other booking was tag teaming with Kenta.
Yeah,
Like, what a
some
fucking
light.
weekend for what a
Too
wait.
Cold
I
Scorpio
think
one
that
day, and then he's in a tag team with Kenta
was that
on
Thursday. That was Thursday night, right?
the Kenta match.
No, the For the Culture.
Yeah, For the Culture was Thursday.
So Thursday at
Yeah,
end of the night on
yeah,
Okay, so
yeah.
so he tag teamed with Kenta earlier in the day on Thursday.
Oh, so that was all the same day that he had
That
this
was the
crazy
same,
day
yeah. So that was the same day.
tagging
He
with
tag teamed with
Kenta.
Kenta and then got to wrestle Two Code Scorpio. What shit? You go, Brian
Ooh,
Keith.
what a life! What
Also,
a life!
again, stunning that Brian Keith, like that was presumably his week.
Yeah, 2 matches, and
That
this is Brian Keith. That's there's a lot, but
feels fucking crazy to me.
it doesn't. That's exactly what I'm trying to get to, and how it doesn't matter because Brian Keith is still destroying it every week. He's going to have great matches this week. The new Texas Pro champion. He's been that champ for a long time. He's all over the place. He did Bola. Like there's all these things that it doesn't matter if that he only had 2 matches there. The 2 matches that he did do were incredible. And so the match with Too Cold Scorpio was exactly what you expect. Hard hitting from Brian Keith. Too Cold Scorpio came out having a great time off rip because every time he's at a show, he's going to have a great time. And I loved everything about it. Getting to see Scorpio still just doing the basic moonsault, it's just like this guy is still flipping, man. Like, what's going on here? It's just great to see, man. Great show. The main event was Trish Adora against Calvin Tankman. No, was that the main event? Yeah, that was the main event. Trish Adora versus Calvin Tankman for the Pan African World Diaspora Championship. She's been 1,000 plus days as champion. Calvin Tankman, incredible talent. So they had a really hard hitting match. Trish Adora is just one of the most charismatic, best women's wrestlers out in the world. And I hope that they sign her to that official Ring of Honor contract. And then I also was at World on Lucha, the Gringo Loco show. And my first match of the entire weekend, number 1 match of the entire weekend, of course, is Vikingo and Commander from the Ring of Honor show, because how could it not? But my second favorite match of the weekend was the 6-man that was on this fucking Lucha show. Commander again, blowing my brains. This was one of those. There's always a WrestleMania weekend 6-man that blows your mind. It's been happening since the ROH Do Fixer Blood Generation Dragon Gate match of 2006. There's always going to be one of those special ones. This is one of those special ones. All these guys were just lucha greatness. All the flips I like, all the Hurricane Ranas, all the dives, everything special about 6 luchadors trying to tear each other apart and trying to be the most badass luchador in the world. It was crazy. But Gringo Loco versus Psycho Clown was violence. I still haven't gotten the official word on if Psycho Clown is okay, because the last spot was a suplex onto a door with cinder blocks on top, and Psycho Clown did not look like he was okay. He definitely was like calling for help, trying to get out of there immediately. Didn't look great. Gringo had a fucking gusher. His head would not stop bleeding. Someone had to come and trying to help him because we don't want to see a man die out here in this ring. Just violence, blood everywhere. The blood stopping didn't work. So it was like, are these two guys trying to kill each other? Like, I love wrestling, you guys, but I'm not trying to see nobody die, Mike. Like, I'm
Gringo.
with it. Like, I like the name deathmatch, but like,
Yeah.
let's not really do a deathmatch.
No, Gringo's like a great bleeder.
Yes.
Every time, like
A
I
little
don't.
too good. Some
It's
would
like a
say,
weird.
damn it.
I don't know. It's such a weird wrestling specific compliment that just probably sounds very
You,
fucked up to
you
anyone
really know how to
outside.
drop that blood, bro.
You're like, yeah, man, you bleed real good. Like, oh boy, you sure do have that thin
You
blood.
bleed real good, man. You just be
Yeah.
bleeding everywhere.
Uh,
Jeez.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna pull up another super chat real quick here from Freddie Faded. I just want to
Mhm.
shout out all the hardworking production this weekend. Also
Yeah.
thankful I got these motion graphics done before the collective started. Hey,
Mhm.
yeah, shout out to Freddie Faded. You do
Freddy
some.
Faded is crazy with them
That
videos.
would be at Freddie the number 2 Faded on Twitter.
Follow the homie
Yeah,
destroying those pre the for the culture ones. I was like,
mhm,
ooh, yeah, no,
yeah,
those are super dope. You went insane. Yeah, shout out to everybody like Freddie. Shout out to the GoPro people. Shout out to everybody behind the camera this
mhm,
weekend. Shout out to all the referees, the staff that comes in to clean up after these death matches and things. You guys don't understand a GCW staffed person that
yeah,
has to go and get glass and doors and any other kind of random nastiness out of the ring so the next wrestler doesn't get a fucking shard of door in their neck. Like, it's a tough job. Shout out to
yeah,
Emil, Emil, the
yeah,
homeboy. We smoked a blunt for a little bit. He went crazy. I think he said he did 9 shows this week. And by the time I got to him, his voice wasn't blown, but he
hmm,
destroys it on ring announcing and commentary. Yeah, so there's so much that goes into these weekends. There's so much that
yeah,
goes into. Some people are like flying down trying to get a chance. Just respect these wrestlers, man. They got a tough fucking job out there. It's not easy being an independent wrestler. It's not easy being a professional. It's not easy being a professional wrestler at all. So,
for sure.
anytime you get the chance to pay your respects or support a wrestler or anything, just like let them know that you really respect that what they do to entertain us, because these people are wrestling after some of them are wrestling when they probably shouldn't be, like immediately after having like there's a lot going on that you don't see behind the scenes. So just like respect, man. Don't say what their business. Don't say that the business that they're existing in and trying to thrive in is dead or dying or anything that takes away from what they put in every single week to for us to watch it. I don't care if it's too much of it. Don't watch the part that is too much. Somebody's watching that stuff that you think shouldn't exist, and you can't disrespect them by saying what they like shouldn't exist.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go off on that for a minute, but
Mhm.
first, I'm just gonna get this get this up real quick. What's up to 2 of my favorite people from Tom Talks Rubbish?
What's up,
All right,
Tom?
what's up, Tom? Looking forward to talking to you soon. Uh, Spoiler alert, I'm going back. Uh,
Yeet.
but yeah, so the the people that are saying all of this shit, like, one, okay, so there's a death match on the show. You don't like death matches. That's cool. Like, go find something, like, go make a snack, smoke a joint. You got
Yep.
15 minutes to kill. 20 by the time they sweep it all up.
Mhm.
But you also just don't have, like, you just don't have to watch it.
That's
There's
it.
so much other shit that, like, obviously something else on the show enticed you
Mhm.
to pull your eyeballs to it, and you're watching the rest of the show. If you didn't, you get to the part of the show you don't like, save it,
Don't.
save all the energy that you want to put into that stupid fucking tweet, and just, like, go make a snack,
Yes.
touch a butt,
Or tweet
something.
about something you do like. If you see a wrestler
Yeah,
that you don't like, tweet about one that you do like.
absolutely. And then also, like, oh, it's gonna kill the business thing. It's like, what if I told you there are, like, whole promotions that, like, exist and do very well, that are just doing death matches, or
Mhm.
you know pretty much only doing death matches, because there's as many promotions that are doing you know, a more Pyro focused style or a more
Mhm.
Lucha focused style. And it's like, it's not shocking to see those. So, you know,
And the business will never
man,
die. I don't know why people keep
no,
saying that. They were telling Dynamite Kid and Tiger
that's the
Mask.
one.
Yes, they were telling Dynamite Kid and Tiger Mask in 1986, "You guys are gonna kill the business," the
Mhm.
year that I was born, and we're still here. They're
No,
telling the Dudley Boys when they're doing Fire Tables in 1999, "You guys are killing the business," still here. They're telling CZW when they're doing Barbed Wire Deathmatch, Cage of Death, "You guys are killing the business," still here. Shout out to CZW too, gonna do a new, Best of the Best. I'm really excited about that. That's gonna be dope.
start
All these
streaming,
people, yes, please start streaming. And I've been
please.
trying to figure out, I've been in contact, like, how do I get you guys help us out. We want to cover, we want to
We want
talk
to
about
see the
this.
shows.
So help. But
We
yeah, they've
want
been
to see.
telling people for years the business is dead. They told the Young Bucks, they told everybody in the world, you're killing the business, but the business is not dead and it ain't gonna die. The most annoying. Shout out to
Yeah.
Freddie Favorite. Pocket watching in indie wrestling is the corniest thing ever. Just we should be excited about everyone getting money because that's what
Hmm.
it's about, or everybody having fun, or everybody getting their shit in because it's independent wrestling. So how was it? What shows did you check out on your side from the collective?
I watched far too much wrestling last week.
Of course.
I was at home, so like I
Mhm.
didn't have to worry about, you know, it taking 2 hours to get like 10 miles down the road from
Yes.
venue to venue in an Uber. This is my understanding of Los Angeles traffic,
Yeah.
but you know, it's probably I'm either exaggerating or totally dead on.
No, I there were some things I didn't go to just because of traffic. Like that's how it happened.
Yeah.
So you're not
But
off base at all.
in full, I watched a handful of shows in full, and then I've seen
Mhm.
bits and pieces of a ton of them. But I started off like I watched Bloodsport was the first one I was actually able to see anything of live.
Mhm.
But then I had to stop watching Bloodsport after exactly 2 hours because I was watching Ring of Honor because I
Okay.
did the post show with Kate and
That's
filled in
right.
for you.
Mhm.
I
Appreciate that too. Shout out to you.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a good fun. That was a really good fun time, and
Mhm.
I got to talk about Ring of Honor, which I've been enjoying it a lot. So it was good to get to kind of like release all my pent up joy.
Totally.
Next day, and again too, like I'm also working
Yeah.
all day until the middle of the afternoon, so I'm basically missing the 2 o'clock show every day. I ended up watching Jimmy Lloyd's Degeneration F on a laptop while I was working,
Mhm.
like side screened it. Uh, I caught most of DDT versus GCW.
Oh, how was
I
that
caught
from what you saw?
that shit was all over the place, fucking wild. Because
Mhm.
you're basically taking like one of the wildest promotions from Japan
Yeah.
and combining it with like one of the craziest promotions in North America. So like
Yeah.
the blend of everything was like I saw so much butt stuff, which like
Yeah,
I
all the clips I saw were
bro
of
it
butt stuff.
but also like I saw that like everyone who wrestles Yoshihiko,
Mhm.
I automatically just I'm fucking loving them
Yeah,
because of the skill it has to take to
it's
like
respect.
have a compelling match with an inanimate object.
Mhm.
It's, you know, it's the same kind of like admiration that I have for like Bryce Remsburg for refereeing Invisible Man versus
Exactly.
Invisible Stan. It's like
It's respect. They don't teach you this in wrestling school.
no, no, and Starboy versus Higuchi, thank you. Yes,
Mhm.
absolute banger. And also Yuki Ueno versus Joey Janela.
Mhm.
Um, Yuki Ueno and Takeshita also had a crazy match on the DDT Goes Hollywood show that I really
Ooh,
liked.
yeah.
I didn't get to see all of that one in full.
Mhm.
Spring Break I watched, which very happy for East West Express to get those tag
Yes.
team straps.
Oh, yes. That's one of
V-
the best things of the weekend.
a super homegrown, super young, super hungry, insanely talented team. Like I,
Like, real life friends, like, they both,
mhm,
like they have talked about, like, Jordan was always talking about, like, he wanted to come up with Nick Wayne, and so for them to be able to do it big weekend and together after, countless GCW matches we've seen them get destroyed in some of these matches, and for
yeah,
them to come and get that big victory. Shout out to those guys, man. Such a
it
great win.
they've wrestled literally like every tag team that's either come through there as like a fly-in or a guest or like a regional appearance or something.
Mhm.
They've got so many of those teams, plus so many of these international teams, plus so many of these like mainstay teams at GCW that they've both won and lost against. That
Fire.
like they're really like a homegrown talent within
They
this
are.
promotion that's that's been built up and suffered their losses and then got their wins and
Dude, we haven't talked about Masha on this show at all. Masha is the fucking GCW world champion right now.
we were that would have been last week, but you were in LA for shit on Wednesday. But
Oh
so
my god, like the
Masha
changes,
Slamovich is the GCW champion.
that is insane. The changes that they've made just with those two title changes is like, okay, I see what y'all are doing here, and this is exactly what y'all should been doing for a long time.
The thing that Reg wrote an entire article about.
I wrote a full ass article about it.
Finally happened.
Hey, okay, it's patience. It takes time. I get it.
She was on the list. She was on the list in your article, wasn't she?
I think so. Yeah, I would think so. Totally.
You wrote it so long ago.
Yeah, I can't even remember, but I think I was totally like, yeah, Masha Slamovich would be great to do it. And like, what a great way to get into it. What a great way to do it. Another feels like homegrown star that's just like had the crowd wanted this so bad, like, and so for both of these title changes to happen so close to each other, it kind of feels like a changing of the guard, even though it's not really, because all those people are still going to be around for GCW, but it feels like the future is going to be hot, and we're going to get more GCW world title matches, and the tag guys are going to be Jordan and Nick are going to be defending them all the fucking time, everywhere, every weekend, 5 times a weekend, because that's what they do.
Plus, for the tag title match too, like all the, like they're gonna get like every city they go to, we're gonna get like the best teams from every city against Jordan and Nick now.
And shout out to Jordan for being the GCW tag champs and the JCW heavyweight champ, man, killing it out here.
He's got I can't remember where the match is now, but there was a tweet that he tweeted earlier, and I was really happy for it because it's he's wrestling Ichiban.
Oh, yes.
And that's gonna be a good one.
Oh, yeah, I did see that.
Ichiban is somebody who he's like, if you're watching Beyond or Wrestling Open or like, New England based and like Northeastern based promotions, you probably know who he is. And you might really know who he is. Yeah, man, I'm waiting for the like wave of Ichiban to catch on like slowly across the country.
It might be happening this year. I think it's like, it's going to be slowly getting into that because Ichiban's been destroying it out there, and this could be the beginning of that. So let's go.
Ichiban's the only wrestler I'll hold a fucking one up for.
Yes. Number one dojo. Mike throwing shots. That's not me. I'd hold
number one dojo. Anybody. That's the only wrestler I'm throwing up the one. Okay, well, maybe Biff Busick too.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
But shit. I already had to backpedal on it.
Exactly. Immediately, you're like, actually, okay, no, there's 2.
What else did I watch? I watched Spring Break. Spring Break was it was Spring Break.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we were talking about that already. The tag titles. I had my one gripe with Spring Break is a ladder match that ends in a pinfall is just a hardcore match.
Yeah.
Just call it the brass ring scramble. I was fucking confused because I was like, "Where's the ring?" And then I realized I saw someone go for a cover, and I realized what was happening. I was like,
"Yeah, that's not really a ladder match. A ladder match is climbing to grab the thing."
Yeah, I'm like, okay, this is So it's all right. It's just a hardcore match. Yeah. It's a scramble.
That's okay. We can say that.
Yeah,
it's just a GCW match. Just say it's a scramble.
Yeah, so, true.
Somebody
honestly,
will grab a ladder.
Everything goes there anyway. So it's just a scramble.
There you go. It's gonna be great either way.
It's the brass ring scramble. But
what about Speedball and Vikingo? How was that? Yeah.
No words.
Yeah.
It's it's that whole they are who we thought they were. Like
Yeah, totally.
that video clip is my
Mhm.
thoughts on that match. That
Yeah.
was oh
Yeah. Both those
actually
guys had an all-star weekend, so I get it.
Freddie faded. Good shout. I'm surprised nobody dove off the ledge of the UCC like Ninja Mac did, considering how much fucking crazy wrestling happened there. Yeah.
It is a surprise. I mean, sometimes you just you don't want to dive. Matt Justice, he was at the other show. That's why. He did a big death match at Circle 6. That's why nobody dove off there, because it wasn't Matt Justice.
Alpha and Omega versus East West Express. When? Marisol Downs, Nick Wayne.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like it.
I like it.
I'm in.
Nick Wayne, Nick Wayne and Jordan Oliver just, every city the GCW stops and just feed them your best tag team.
Yep. And speaking of Nick Wayne, this weekend at Defy, Nick Wayne versus Swerve, round 2, one of the best matches of the year last year.
That's for the Defy Championship,
yes,
isn't it?
For the Defy Championship. Defy is going to have a huge show. Like I said, one of the best matches of the year last year. The promos, everything about that match, that was like Swerve being like, I'm back at it. And so a year seasoning of Nick Wayne, all the things that he's done to get here, he's leveled up. So you just know that this match is going to be crazy, insane. The crowd's going to be fucking electric. This Defy show is going to be nuts. So shout out to all the homies at Defy. That's going to be fire.
Yeah, they had an intense 45-minute match last time they wrestled. It was some crazy. It was close to an hour, I think.
Yeah,
but and then they put it up for free on YouTube too, so you can go watch it.
Yeah,
you can go check it out now.
So do that before you see the one this weekend, because it's gonna be lit.
Yeah, I checked in and out with some of the Circle 6 stuff as well throughout the week. World on Lucha, I actually still have to replay because it was on so late. When it was on so late that I couldn't watch it live. I was in bed. I'm on the East Coast.
Yeah.
And then my mom was here all weekend last weekend. So Saturday through Sunday, my days were trying to sneak some watching in. But mostly just, hanging out with my mom who lives out of town. And then Monday, it's back to the work week.
Can't get into I still haven't gotten into all the wrestling yet, because I just been fucking sleeping because I didn't get too much sleep out there in LA, of course.
Yeah. I've got
all the shows are starting at fucking midnight. I'm going to bed at 3 or 4 a.m. every night.
Maybe we should watch a long one together on the weekend or something.
You're right. We can do that one of these. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. So maybe we'll check out on our, keep an eye on both of our Twitters, and one of us, if we do a watch along or something, we'll tweet out about it and announce it. You won't see any of the video, but if you have access to the streaming service, we'll all press play at the same time, and you'll hear the audio, and we can react and laugh to it together.
Yeah.
And
I like it.
Yeah.
The first Indeed watch along happening.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe we can, I don't know, take some show suggestions from lovely folks in our chat.
We know what Van
Twinblade here tonight.
We know what Van Twinblade is going to recommend.
Absolutely. I watched the Hitchcock Super Show, but that it doesn't even count as an indie show to me, honestly.
No,
it's just a global showcase of still top top talent from every.
What was the Michael Oku match on that show?
Oku
and was it Speedball?
Was it? I gotta go back and look on that one.
Yeah, there's so many matches and things.
Everything blends together. I'm I can't remember who Kenta and Brian Keith wrestled. I can't remember
because they changed that match 50 times. It was supposed to be Tom.
Oh, that was Tom. Yeah, that's right. That's why
they changed. They've had 3 different partners. It was Josh Alexander. Then it was a person that we're not going to talk about, and then.
Yes, thank you, Christian.
But Christian, yeah,
that was Oku.
Yeah.
Speaking of Oku. Friday
Friday, baby. Let's get into that.
Actually, oh, you know what?
Yeah.
No, another show I watched. Sorry, speaking of Michael Oku, he wrestled Titus Alexander for the West Coast Pro Championship
Ooh,
on the
Prestige
Prestige
Wrestling.
Wrestling show.
Yeah.
So, and also another match, like honorable mention, I want to give to that one is Calvin Tankman versus Vinny Massaro.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
hang on. I want to go back to Bloodsport for a minute now. Calvin Tankman got fucking robbed.
What happened?
Whoever I don't know, like some MMA dude who like you see in a wrestling ring, like when Bloodsport happens, only fucking beat him. I'm sorry, nobody in the building knows who this man is. Everyone knows who Tank is. That man got fucking robbed. Josh
Okay.
Barnett, you owe Calvin Tankman a nice fat W at Bloodsport 10.
Mike felt personal about that. I
Yeah.
fucks with it. Yeah.
Sorry, I have feelings about Calvin Tankman. Okay,
Straight up. Tank deserves that win, man. Come on, y'all.
But yeah, so instead, don't watch that fight. Watch Tankman versus Massaro from Prestige Wrestling. That was a Haas fucking fight.
Yes.
They beat the shit out of each other.
But this Titus and Oku went crazy, though?
Titus and Oku is crazy. I don't want to give away the finish, but I really liked it.
Mhm.
I might give it away anyway. It was the one of the most satisfied feelings I've had watching somebody lose to a backslide pin. And that's all I'll say about it.
Aha. Yes, I will watch that show. I need to check that show out.
SP3 in the chat. I thought the same thing about Tankman versus Hammer. Hated that result. Yes, thank you. Dude, we haven't seen since Bloodsport 7. Literally, like his I had to look him up on Cage Match to be like, who the fuck is this dude?
And it's that's when it gets muddy for Josh Barnett, because he wants to give it up, but it's like sometimes you shouldn't give it up, bro. Like, let Tank get this.
Know your audience, man.
Right.
Like most of the people that are there for Bloodsport are there for, they've probably bought the season pass for the collective, and you know they're going to every single show. They probably don't know who all your MMA
UFC MMA fans being like, I gotta see all my MMA guys destroy these wrestlers.
Yeah, they don't know who your MMA buddies that you're like, hey man, you want to go make a couple $100 for you know, a semi shoot fighting a guy? It's like nobody knows who this man is.
Tank was robbed.
That's where we're there. We go. Tankman was robbed. I'm sorry. That was I got fucking
heated.
That
one built up. That was a rant.
I was heated. Oh, I've been sitting on that one. When was Bloodsport? Last Thursday. I've been sitting on that.
It's been almost a week.
I've been holding that one in, Reg. It's like, fuck. That was I'm surprised that didn't come out of the chamber first.
Right. Nah, you had that one locked up. No, for reals. Tank should have got the victory. Get him his retribution at the next one. Why don't you face him, Josh Barnett?
What's up? He tapped out too.
What's up?
But back to the Prestige show. Another thing I liked about this was so we saw the West Coast Pro title get defended on the Prestige show, which I love that. You know,
the partnership is hard. Yep.
Yeah, I like seeing promotions be friendly with each other. And then at the end of the show, we saw, you know, Alex Shelley is the dual Prestige champion and the Revolver Remix champion, and some Revolver dude showed up and attacked some of the beloved Prestige wrestlers, and we have like some
KB Kevin Blackwood up, man. Y'all tripping.
Yeah, we got some inter-promotional warfare happening between Wrestling Revolver, which is based out of Ohio and Iowa, and Prestige Wrestling, which is like a Pacific Northwest, like NorCal, Portland, or NorCal and like Oregon-based promotion.
Yeah.
So to see this, I love it. You know, we've got these two West Coast promotions working together. We have a third promotion that is working together, but
this is that shit right here. This is exactly what we need to see. Interpromotional fighting,
storyline,
storylines, story fucking lines. They're keeping it up on social media, like they're tweeting at each other, talking shit. Like this is that shit right here. I love that angle. I love everything that they're doing.
Yep, and actually, while we're on storylines too, the end of Big Gay Brunch with Thirsty defeating Mason's Mercenaries too. Like we finally we feels like we've completed that chapter. The story, storylines are alive and well in independent wrestling, which is actually alive and well.
Yeah,
Believe it or not,
who would have
if
thunk
you
it?
if you try to watch it outside of 5 days of a year,
Right.
like you
Like
know,
Mike and I come on this show all the time and say it's too much. We can't even watch how much there is. Like there's
yeah,
still hella that we're like,
yeah.
damn, we didn't see that show.
Our number one complaint weekly is I can't watch all the shows. I don't have time.
Not enough time.
But
Yeah.
like, yeah, tell me again how it's dead. Uh, you know, maybe give it a try outside of the weeks where AEW or WWE have a big pay per view.
Boom. Bam.
You know,
Wow.
there between now and like don't tell me the next time you watch independent wrestling is going to be in like mid late May in Las Vegas.
Yep.
There's like
That's the next time.
there's 7 weeks in between then, and there's probably going to be 30 shows
Most
easily
definitely.
a
At
month
minimum.
between now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
trust me, you'll find it. It's
Yes.
alive and well. You can watch some of it tomorrow. There's Revolver Wrestling Thursday on Fight Plus.
Oh, sweet.
There's Wrestling Open weekly on IWTV every Thursday.
Mm-hmm. Is
On
this one
Friday,
Max Caster's back at?
I believe I have to double check the socials for the card on that.
Mm-hmm.
West Coast Pro is on Friday. Home of the Killers.
Mm.
Ridiculous looking show.
Mm. I have a vested interest, like I tweeted about. I have a vested interest in a lot of these matches, but Leo Rush versus my friend Alpha Zoe is such an important match. I've been talking to Zoe for years now about having big moments like this. And if you followed the career of Zoe any for like the last year, you see that he's in the gym every day getting better. He's in the
Yep.
wrestling ring all the time trying to become a better pro wrestler. He's the champion of multiple promotions throughout Northern California. He's worked so hard to get to this moment, and I'm so excited to see him in there. Leo Rush has been, oh my God, destroying it in legit every spot that he's been in. He had a great match with Kushida last week at the for Impact and New Japan. He has been having some incredible showcases, so I can't expect any less from this. Also, I was saying I thought Michael Oku was wrestling Speedball Bailey last week. Nope, he's wrestling Speedball Mike Bailey this Friday. West Coast Pro, home of the Killers. I'm going to cry probably through that. It's going to be amazing to see Oku in that spot. Speedball Mike Bailey, of course, we don't have to say anything about them. He's amazing. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. Jordan Oliver, we just talked a lot about him and Nick Wayne. He's going to be taking on another homie we just talked about, Brian Keith. I can't believe this match right here.
It's Jordan's West Coast Pro debut too, isn't it?
No, he's had one match. There was one match, maybe I think it was last year. Maybe last year. Yeah, this isn't his debut though.
Okay.
The Queen, one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time. I can't believe I'm going to be in the little stateroom and she's going to be in the same building as me. Aja Kong, I can't believe I said that out loud, is going to be at West Coast Pro. She's going to be taking on Vert Vixen. Aja Kong.
Hell of an opportunity for Vert Vixen too.
What?
And she's crazy. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, like I'm enjoying her on the indies while I can because her free time, I'm sure,
she's out of here.
Yeah, she's not long for a piece of paper, I would imagine.
Yeah, no, she's way out of here. That's why she's in this position. And also another amazing women match, Miyu Yamashita, sorry, is going to be taking on the West Coast Pro Women's Champion, also the GCW World Champion, Masha Slamovich. The West Coast Pro Champion is teaming up with those two dirty scoundrels, Alan Angels and Kevin Blackwood. They're going to be taking on Starboy Charlie, Vinny Massaro, and Jacob Fatu, making his return back to the ring of West Coast Pro. Anytime that Jacob's in West Coast Pro, it's always lit. From his music, from his entrance, he don't fight like nobody else. He's a fucking one of this. He's bloodline, and it shows every time that he comes out. It's super lit. Also on the card, West Coast Wrecking Crew taking on the Velocities. I've never heard of the Velocities. It's going to be the first time that I see them. Look at me, going to be discovering a tag team for my first time ever. It's rare that I go to a show where I don't know what's going on there. So
West
That's
Coast
gonna
Pro
be
does
cool.
that too, though.
They do that.
Yeah, they'll be like, hey, here's some like last year at the West Coast Cup. I'm like, Gravity?
Oh yeah.
Who's Gravity?
Yeah,
And
sometimes
then
Scott will drop one. I'm like, where did
yeah,
you? How did you outscoop? You can't do this. Like, how you know
yeah,
about somebody that I don't know about? It's crazy out here.
yep, absolutely.
And Chris
Um,
Hero is going to be there too. This is his first show as an official matchmaker. It was great hanging out with Chris Hero last time. It was great for him to be a part of the ins and outs of West Coast Pro because he's a brilliant mind. So this
mhm.
Friday, the show sold out. Sorry to say, if you're trying to get a ticket, you fucking can't because it's lit, baby. But you can, of course, always check out the show on IWTV this
Yeah,
Friday.
yeah, definitely. That's on IWTV, 8 p.m. Pacific time.
Woo.
So, where's it 7? 7 p.m.
7.
Pacific time. That's
Yeah.
right, because it's 10 p.m. for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then also on Friday, we do have you. If you don't have IWTV, if you got
Mhm.
Fight Plus, Black Label Pro live from Squared
Ooh.
Circle Expo.
Oh yeah.
That's going to be on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, I'm going to give it up to on IWTV and Fight Plus individually for two promotions that we. They're more of promotions I would like people to check out and learn about. I think this might be their first time on Fight Plus, or at least this show is on Fight Plus, and their last one was on pay-per-view. But on Saturday, Hood Slam Fallen Idols.
Oh, sweet. Yes.
Hood Slam is not like it's a wrestling show, but it's so not a wrestling show.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, I talked about it before. I've been to live Hood Slam shows. The crowds are like nothing else you've ever seen. The shows are like nothing else you've ever seen. They actually have a super tight lineup. Mike Ito's going to be in the building. Trisha Dora is in the building. So I think I'm going to be in the building because how could I miss this greatness? This Saturday, that's great weekend for West Coast Pro Wrestling. Got West Coast Pro on Friday, got Hood Slam on Saturday. Is this their debut on Fight? Because they've been on IWTV. I think it may possibly they have shows on there when it was the other model. They haven't been part of Fight Plus though.
Yeah, there are other shows. Even the last Hood Slam show was like a single purchase pay-per-view.
Yeah, right.
So if they're under the Fight Plus umbrella now, like fully, and their library is going to start getting pulled in on there from like past shows, I'm going on a Hood Slam vendor.
We hope so. Shout out to Dark Chic. We love Dark Chic. I'll see if that's what's happening here. I'll get in contact with
I'm putting season 3 of Lucha Underground on hold, and I'm just going through Hood Slam. But
great thing to be watching though, Lucha Underground. Am I right?
Yeah. And then on IWTV on Saturday, I'm recommending DOA Wrestling's Port Slamdia. I wonder if that's in Portland.
Possibly. Two West Coast shots out. Look at Mike, man. Come on, let's go.
Yeah. Well, it was C4 it was C4 a couple of weeks ago. So I gotta circle back to the West Coast. Yeah. And also imagine that. I live in Ontario, Canada. I have no business without the glory of the internet of knowing about promotions that exist. Well, magazines, if we're back in the day, I guess. But otherwise, I have no business knowing about these promotions.
But like Hood Slam is like down the street. Like I can hear Hood Slam when they're wrestling. Like that's how close it is. You shouldn't know about that.
Is it seriously like that? Like actual, like if your windows are open, you can.
Well, no, not that. Sometimes they have.
That'd be fucking awesome.
It's because they have they've been to a bunch of different places. Like sometimes, like they're gonna start them again because the weather. Most of the summer shows are outside, and so they've been in a bunch of different locations at Oakland. This next show is going to be, I think it's at the Continental Club, which is like a bar, and it's going to be interesting to see how. I mean, I guess they have a dance music area, so it's going to be really cool. But anytime that they're in a place, they always have really cool visuals too. So it's part of the charm of Hood Slam.
Their last show was like some crazy outdoor shit.
Like
it looked like there were like cars just not far from not too far from the range.
It's just like right there, like on the street.
That's amazing. That's something else.
Shout out to Sheik. Amazing.
I don't have anything for Sunday. you know, I couldn't. I couldn't find it. There's nothing that I could see on the schedule for IWTV or Fight Plus
What?
that there's nothing
Nobody's
streaming.
running on Sunday. That's weird.
No, I don't know, but take a break. You know,
Yeah.
touch and or smoke some grass.
Nah, both for me.
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe that can be the day that we do the stream, since nothing was on.
Was Hood Slam the one that did the gray sweatpants battle?
No, that
like
was
it would be. It sounds like it would.
that was Faye Jackson as a part of Big Gay Brunch.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. That sounds like it would be though.
Yeah.
Like that's
No, I was saying
crazy
Sunday could
insulation.
possibly be the day that we do the watch along. If there's nothing
Oh,
going on, we might as well
yeah.
make something go on.
I'll see what's on Fightful's schedule. If there's some space in there, we can
Yeah.
figure something out.
Totally.
But in the meantime, that was our PSA on our in memoriam to all this indie wrestling that it's dead.
That we had a great time watching this
Yeah,
week, and it was so important. They forced me to do it, Mike.
It's dead. I guess I'm gonna watch all these shows we just talked about. I'm gonna watch them. It's gonna be just blank screen streams because there's no matches and nobody's gonna be in attendance. I'm probably
not going to a sold out show on Friday. There's gonna be nobody there. The doors are gonna be locked because nobody's gonna be in there because wrestling doesn't exist. There's no wrestling ring. There's no wrestlers. There's nothing. Doesn't exist.
Don't try to buy tickets to it because you don't want to go.
Yeah.
And
also you can't buy tickets because it's fucking sold out, baby. It's West Coast Pro, West Coast, Best Coast. The rest of y'all fucking wish, baby.
Yeah. Check it out on IWTV. Check out all the other shows we talked about. And check out Reg at where?
At Righteous Reg, or you can check me out if you want to hear my voice some more. Indeed is every Wednesday. On Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, I am with Kate on the Fightful main channel. We are talking about Ring of Honor Wrestling. I'm really excited to talk about the show tomorrow because they're going to be filming. I guess they'll be filming today, and then the show will be happening tomorrow. So that's going to be dope. And of course, tomorrow also is Ask Rhapsody. We haven't done it in a few weeks because we've been on the run. That's going to be on the Fightful Select. And then, of course, every Saturday is regular Rhapsody, and we are all back in our regular positions and lives and everything this Saturday. So check that out.
Hell yeah. And myself, Twitter machine, Mike is Indie, here every Wednesday on Indeed.
Oh, we got an interview next week.
We do have an interview next week. So we've got a couple coming up, actually. So next week on the show, we'll be joined by superstar Shane Hawk of C4 Wrestling, IWS fame, Canadian indie staple, one half of the C4 tag team champions with Hot Stepper McCray Martin.
We love our C4 homies.
Yep. They had a great title defense a couple of weeks ago. Tune in. It's going to be a fun time.
Yeah.
Who knows what we'll talk about. If if you've ever had an interest in Canadian independent wrestling, you're probably going to learn some shit next week.
Yeah.
So drop on by. Me, that's where you find me. If you want me to fill in or something on a show for you, hit me up. I don't know. I'll talk about the wrestling anywhere.
Yep.
But yeah, we'll see you guys all next week. Thanks again for everyone who sent in a super chat. It's much appreciated.
Super cool.
Kind of crazy. Not used to that. Really appreciate it. And yeah, we'll look forward to seeing you next week. Bye, everybody.
Peace.